Oh, good morning and welcome to our home. We're always so happy to do these videos for you. It brings us so much joy.
Yeah.
So, I found another story in the archives of my life. This took place quite a long time ago. I believe I was 26, maybe 27. And yeah, probably 27. And Barry and I were living in France for the summer in Chamonix with the Sufis, studying under the teacher Pir Vilayat Khan, who is the son of Hazrat Inayat Khan, who brought Sufism to the West. And Pir Vilayat Khan is, he's an amazing man. He's no longer on this earth, but he was just a splendid teacher of love and light. And we were very, very blessed to spend that whole summer with him. And when we first met him, he asked us to do workshops for all the campers or all the people in attendance. And these are people from all over Europe and the United States. And we had never led a workshop. Like, that idea wasn't even in our minds to ever do something like that. He said, no, you're definitely going to do that, and the people that are here, they need this. And he said, and I'll help you. And I can't remember how many times a week, but it was not just once. It was either every day or several times a week. And he said, you'll meet with me in my cave. Yes, he lived in a cave way up in the mountain, and we'll discuss what you're going to do, and I'll give you some ideas. So that happened the whole summer, and we led our first workshops in France, and they were in French, German, Italian, and English with interpreters. So that was an amazing experience. And at the end of the camp, everyone was gathered, and he said, I'd like to thank, he has a beautiful way of speaking, I'd like to thank the people that contributed so much. And he was thanking people. And then he said, and I'd like to thank Barry for these wonderful workshops that he's been leading. And Barry stood up, got all this applause, and I bet you're ashamed now that you did that. And
This is very embarrassing.
And I was so upset with Barry. And then when he sat down, I don't know, maybe I pinched him or something. I'm like, how could you do that? You know we did this together. And I forget what he said. It wasn't very great. You know, what did you say?
What did I say?
Yeah.
I don't remember at the moment.
Yeah.
But I know what I said later.
Yeah, so afterwards, I was really angry. How could you stand there and, you know we did this together. He said, I know I did the wrong thing.
Oh, I know. It's, when you have a teacher that you really look up to, in the moment, I was like a deer in the headlights, right? I didn't know what to do, so I stood up and got the applause, even though it felt weird.
It's true. Like a deer in, it's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was angry with him and finally said, okay, I know I did wrong. But the one you're really angry with is Pir Vilayat. That stopped me. Because, yes, but how do you approach someone like this? I mean, we had him on such a pedestal. He wore long white robes and he had this long gray hair and a long gray beard, and he was
The guru.
he wasn't a guru. He wasn't a guru, but he was just phenomenal, and he had such a connection with the light, and he was teaching us. It was really amazing. So Barry said, you have to talk to him. You have to tell him that what he did was wrong. Mm-hmm. This was nighttime, and I hardly slept at all. Barry got me up in the morning from our little tent, and we knew that he came down from his cave, marching down. This was Sunday. We knew he would be coming down and taking a group into a local church to sing a hymn. So we got to this boulder, and we kind of were hiding behind it. and he comes marching down, he's like filled with glory and joy. It was a beautiful day. And he got close and Barry pushed me out because I just was frozen. And Fearful Eyes, oh, hi, Joyce. And I said,
isn't it a glorious morning, right?
And I said, it wasn't right what you did last night. I did the workshops with Barry, and yet you only gave the honor to him. Oh, that was so hard to do. Probably one of the hardest things up to that point in my life. Mm-hmm. And he stopped and he said, oh my gosh, I did it again. He was raised in India. He said, I've been raised to honor men over women, and my wife just is so on me about this. And she just tells me whenever I do this, and now I've done it again. He took me by the hand, marched me down to where the whole group was gathered, and he said, I have made a really big mistake, and I want to correct it. And Joyce was such a part of the workshops, and I really want to honor her. I didn't really need that, but it did feel good. And then he took me aside and he said, I have such trouble with this that I want you to help me. And I'm going to keep looking at you. You have these piercing eyes that just were amazing. I'm going to keep looking at you. And if I do this again, if I dishonor any women and put men over women, I want you just to raise your hand. I'm going to keep looking at you. And he did throughout the rest of that summer. And then he lived in Marin. We went to several workshops, week-long ones, and we did a lot more with him. And every time he'd look at me with these eyes and communicate, am I doing it? Am I doing it again? And so we developed such a close relationship. And all right, so the whole point in me sharing this is that it's important to stand up for ourselves. It really is. When someone does something and it bothers us, it's so important to stand up for ourselves, really, and to honor ourselves. If I hadn't done that, we probably would have stopped going to any seminars with him. And also, I wouldn't have developed this very special relationship with him that really has blessed my whole life. So, stand up. We're so important. And if something is wrong, stand up for yourself. And you never know the blessing that will come. That's my story.
That's beautiful. Okay. All right, so... I love that story. All right, well, I think I'm gonna share a song with you that is one of my earlier songs, but the words... just one day I think I was doing stretches or yoga or something, and I just heard this little phrase, love is the way of the heart. Of course, we all know that, but something about it just begged to be in a song. So, love is the way of the heart. Just like the sun does shine, just like the tide comes in, just like a bell does chime, love is the way of the heart. Love love is the way of the heart. My feelings are sometimes clear. God's presence is always here. But sometimes I'm not aware that love is the way of the heart. That love is the way of the heart. It's been that way from the start. That love is the way of the heart. It's been that way from the start. That love is the way of the heart. Love is the way of the heart. Sometimes you feel so sad. You long for the love you had, but one truth can make you glad. Love is the way of the heart. Love is the way of the heart. It's been that way from the start. That love is the way of the heart. It's been that way from the start. That love is the way of the heart. Love is the way of the heart. So take a moment with your eyes closed, just to feel that. How important it is to be in your heart, to live from the heart. And like Joyce shared, to really stand up for yourself, because that's being in your heart too. All right. Thank you so much. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath, okay, and bring in all this incredible energy that's all around you and within you. There you go.
I have one more really short story about this. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
I just want this point to come through. So that took place in France with this really amazing Pir Vilayat. This is a story with my mom, so perhaps more people can relate to it. So my mother lived next door to us for the last 15 years of her life, my mother and my father. Then after my father passed on, I did a lot for my mother, a lot. And 6 months before she died, I was still able to take her to the grocery store, and she would get her favorite items, which was cookies. And so we did that. I had taken her out to lunch, and then I took her to the grocery store, and we were checking out, and this woman said, I would like to take your card out to the car. And my mother was raving about this woman, like, you're such an angel in my life. You help me so much, and you always take my card out to the car. And So that happened, and we were driving. She still kept talking about this checker who would take her groceries to the car. And inside I was like, I was getting angry. And I was having this little battle with myself. I'm like, I do so much for my mother, and she never seems to notice. She never thanks me. And then the other part of me is like, let it go. Your mother doesn't have much more time to live. Why do you want to do something like this? So it's on and off. And I walked her up to the apartment with her groceries. And the better part of me won out. And I said, Mom, you know that checker? Oh, yes. She went on and on again about the checker. And I'm like, I do so much more for you. And you never thank me. And it just stopped her. And she said, you're right. And just this love and gratitude poured out of her that I might never have heard had I not stood up for myself and for my feelings. That's really powerful stuff. And it can give you a blessing. I mean, it's been 15 years since that happened, and it still blesses my heart. All right. Okay, you have a good day.
Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. I actually like that second story better than the first story. Because, sometimes, it's our human self. We have these feelings, and sometimes we put ourselves down we think these feelings are petty, right? Like what you felt about the checker, right? Mm-hmm. But it's so important. It's about standing up for all of you, not just your spirituality, but your humanity too, and all the feelings. So I hope you get that message. Bless you.
Two stories this time. It's so important.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.